Hello, my chillin', and welcome to VFX and Chill, the weekly live VFX talk show where we break down visual effects from movies, TV shows, commercials, things that we see with our eyeballs. Speaking of amazing eyeballs, please welcome my co-host, Seth.
Hello. Speaking of great eyeballs, how is everybody this week?
Doing very well. Still, feeling that Halloween spirit.
This is my favorite Snapchat lens I've ever found. It's my favorite look that I've ever had as a person. Like, I kind of want to make this just my character and like only do like Daft Punk style, just only be this guy for the remainder of my career.
Think about your presence as a director on set going about like that. I think that it would be very good, like you're not giving them anything. You're making sure that the performers are feeding you, what they come to set with. Just
staring at them. They have nothing to, they can't read me at all. They can't see my big goofy smile.
They can just look deep into your eye.
I have been wearing it in Maxon meetings all week, and I have a feeling that, Simon's going to have to pull me aside at some point and be like, Seth, we love your contributions to the company. We think you're doing great. You're going to need to turn the eyeball off in meetings at some point. And I'm just going to do this. Like, I won't even speak anymore. Just be what? No mascot.
Like, there's something very, pathetic about, the eyeball just, shaking its head because it's, it has no other means of communicating. It's scared, frightened a little bit. And speaking of beautiful eyes, hello, Michael. How are you doing?
Hey, Michael.
It's so good to be here. I love hanging out and chilling with our VFX friends.
It is fun. We get to do lots of fun stuff on this show. It's really a work of art, if you ask me.
I agree.
And speaking of works of art, perhaps some Incredible. Of you out there have seen that there have been some very visually exciting works of activism around the world involving some other lovely pieces of art. Seth, is that what you're pulling up right now? Here we are.
Here we've got Sunflowers by Van Gogh getting the tomato soup treatment from, I believe this was Just Stop Oil, or activists or protesters representing Just Stop Oil. There's been a lot of this going around. I've got also, this is Monet's Les Moules, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Les Moules, being given the mashed potato love.
Mm-hmm.
As some
Those are
call
some
it.
runny mashed potatoes. I mean,
I think they might have just not paid attention to the right ratio of cream to potatoes.
I agree, because the coloring of those mashed potatoes are not looking good. I would
also
say
dissipated like that, they're gonna cool off immediately.
To their compliment, the color actually itself does complement the painting. So
it does.
Yeah. So I actually, I wouldn't, no notes, wouldn't change a thing.
No notes.
In addition, I know Botticelli's Primavera, we had some people gluing their hands to it. These are also climate activists, I believe, representing Just Stop Oil, possibly. And then King Charles got caked, pie in the face by some representatives of Just Stop Oil.
Mm-hmm. But the royal family being very, they're training, jumping into full effect, maintaining composure.
Yeah, very impressive. Oh, there's a weird empty box up here. I need to fix that, don't I? But so why are we looking at this, Hash?
Well, we're looking at this because there's something interesting about seeing something that we're familiar with being modified or vandalized or harmed in some way. And just so everyone knows, all of the damage being done by these activists is completely undoable. Some of these are already behind a protective film or glass and stuff like that. They did their research ahead of time, so none of these are lost to time. But it is a great way to communicate with people. And so I was thinking that maybe this week on the show we could try to reach more people by, I don't know, some light digital vandalism of sorts, perhaps. Okay. Seeing what other like if shock value will translate our message. But I think that what we need is they've got a very good cause that they're drawing attention to and putting a spotlight on. And I feel like maybe throughout the show we could take suggestions or try to workshop, what we're trying to communicate. I mean, other than the exciting news that. Do we have anything coming up next week by chance, Michael? Is there anything happening that we could be drawing the attention of our community to?
This Wednesday, we are very, I'm very excited about what's the stuff that's being announced Wednesday. If you folks have signed up for Max on emails, you will have seen in your inbox that there are going to be fiery surprises coming on Wednesday. But there's some other stuff happening too, besides just fiery surprises.
What did that email say specifically? Because that will unlock things I'm allowed to say.
It said fiery surprises. That's really...
Fiery surprises.
All right, fine. Fiery surprises. I'm dying. I'm burning to tell everybody
about the things
about that are coming on Wednesday.
Let me read the exact email.
Burning to use it on the show.
Fiery surprises for November 3D and motion design show. Join us Wednesday for an exciting event that kicks off with the Maxon team presenting Maxon news, announcements, and product updates.
Hey, product updates are always cool. I mean, what's cooler than a product is when that product gets updated,
But folks, if you're into Cinema 4D, you definitely want to tune in Wednesday. If you're into VFX and particles, you probably also want to tune in too, because in After Effects
or hey Hashi, scroll back up. Or if you're into Dave McGavran, for example.
McGavran, I mean,
there he is. Hey Dave.
We all obviously are very much.
All of us. Huge Dave McGavran fans.
Ew.
And, were you to happen to scroll through our very, or just the media feed of our lovely CEO.
Whoa!
There are hints out there about you gotta search for them.
This is Dave McGavran's Fire Donut, which is the name of a product. No, this also serves a purpose. And So speaking of that, so Wednesday, was it Wednesday?
There may also be a clue in a tweet he tweeted that Red Giant retweeted about a Red Giant thing coming to. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Tune in Wednesday. You'll find out.
Come on, you sleuths, gumshoes. Figure out what we're not allowed to say on your own.
And tune in Wednesday to find out if you're right.
And you will be. So amazing. Wednesday aside,
I've come in with no real plan other than it's clear that we want to, this show is obviously ripped from the headlines, and we want to, try to capitalize on that spirit of vandalism in art. And so,
that's
what were you thinking?
The spirit of vandalism.
Fun thing to do today.
Well, not just vandalism, but vandalism with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Perpandalism.
I think, obviously, being that we're doing this with VFX, we can do whatever we want.
That's true.
We could splatter sweet potatoes on
what though? See, on famous movie scenes, push in on Elliot as ET's ship takes off, and then activists throw paint on Elliot's face.
Ooh, because in our world, like famous movie scenes are what has that visual, significance and nostalgia for us. So I feel like
so vandalizing movie scenes, yes.
Yeah, if someone wanted to grab my attention, they could, take my favorite scene from Edward Scissorhands and splatter paint on it. That would make me very upset.
Very upset.
But I would probably listen to what that person had to say.
Permanently burned into the film. It's actually on the original negative that they do this work.
NFTs, someone could find a beeple and just, dump some digital tomato soup on that thing.
To be clear, that's not what we're doing on the show. We're not going to be defacing a beeple. Original. Michael, you had a very funny idea that I kind of want to steal from you. Can you retell it to us?
So as I was lying in bed last night, the thought drifted into my head, Jackson Pollock. Because his work is already stuff splattered on things. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there for fun art, splattery shenanigans. I was thinking, something like you could either desplat it, like some art fixer person was like, oh, someone splattered all this piece of art, and they think it's like
paints a perfect Van Gogh on top of it.
or just cleans the splatter out, like the splatter just cleans the splatter all away to reveal the empty canvas below. Assuming, of course, that they think it's one of those minimalism art pieces, which is like a blank canvas with a white square on it.
Or what if you did a loop? What if it was a Jackson Pollock painting on the wall? They splattered the paint, and it went in and just became the same painting, like the Tom Cruise.
So the splatters just splatters on over,
like Tom Cruise sunglasses.
That would be good
in a loop.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try that first.
All right, that sounds fun.
If you're cool
one
with
other
stealing
that comes to mind, I have it on my screen right now, is I'm not a very good. I've not seen very many episodes of the show, but one standout Doctor Who episode features a depressed Van Gogh getting to visit via time travel, showing that his life's work is worth something to people, which is pretty nice. It's a very touching moment, very beautiful. And I was thinking, like, this would be the worst possible time for these activists to potentially come.
But they hit him, or they hit. Is it funnier to hit the wall, or is it funnier to hit him?
I think that it would be, you'd see multiple pieces of art, and then you'd maybe cut to his teary reactions as if it were in reaction to his art being destroyed. And then if there's a last, like, slow push-in or anything like that, is when you splat him in the face.
Oh, that's so good.
Which is very mean. It's such a horrible there's such a horrible disservice to this beautiful scene. It's really wonderful.
So, I mean, Hashi, this is not the first time you've done a horrible disservice to a Doctor Who scene.
Well, like some would argue that, I don't know. Let's see, where do we store these things? Is it called Doctor Who? I don't remember how we name any of these things. If you're still following, but with Raptors, which you should be. You should be, because we spoil reveals of the new Doctor
regularly.
Formats like this.
I love how old school BBC was like, what do we do with replacing the actor? Like, we can't cancel this show that's so popular. We'll just make him regenerate into whatever. Then we could just switch the actors out whenever we want to. It's such a good idea.
And here we are.
Yes. The new Doctor. That's so good.
So I'm looking at this, by the way. I'm thinking, if there's a way to loop not just the painting, but the people as well. Like,
so they're just like, so they keep on like dipping down and splattering more and more onto that?
Dip down, splatter.
Yeah, that, or if you get even more trippy, just have them like merge into themselves. And have new ones
come into my world style.
Yeah.
Just,
I mean, you do have them going from down, up, down again.
Loopable
it's close.
Action to me.
It does look fairly loopable because they down, up. Oh, they're so close to the right position.
That would be a pretty valuable lesson too. Seamless looping for human actions like that.
I mean, first you're gonna have to stabilize the shot. Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. But you can just have them leave frame and then come back up into it.
Yeah.
Oh, like that's perfect.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the right way to do it. Just like that.
That's easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can have that last as long as you want to. by just adding camera shake into it.
Do we want to divide and conquer on this? Seth, do you want me to do some roto while you do some artistic work?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
To this actual shot?
To that actual shot. Let's do that.
So here's what I'll do. I'll render
Teamwork.
out this plate.
Makes the
meme work.
Meme work.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty fast. I'm going to give that one to you. That's pretty good.
Thanks, pal. I mean, Michael usually beats me to it. He was drinking something. That's why. I'm going to render out this plate here.
So is the GIF the version that we have?
No. I have this from the YouTube download.
All right, toss it in our footage folder, and I'll pull it up.
All right, it is in. I believe I just put it in the footage folder.
And
the importance of correct file organization is demonstrated frequently on this show. With the fact that we all spend 5 minutes looking for things instead of having it.
All right, Van plate. All right, here we go. I've got it. I will go through. I'll get a rotoable, a loopable action of them both coming into frame, then ducking out at the end there. And I think what I'll need to do is they start kind of standing, so I'm going to do a little bit of puppet tool effect at the beginning so I can get a full crouch into frame and then out of frame. All right?
That's smart. So what should
you work on
I
the background environment that you can slug these characters into.
Well, here's the question, though, about camera movement. Baseline, what should we keep as our control here? Should we...
Probably the top two corners of the frame of that photo look like they are always pretty static.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm getting at
we could try the warp stabilizer and see what happens if we said no motion on it out of curiosity.
Yeah.
And I bet I'll have to switch it off of subspace warp to position scale rotation.
Oh, it's funny. I didn't know whose screen we were looking at.
Stabilize only.
We're doing the exact same thing. And I was like, perfect. I didn't know whose screen we were looking at.
Okay, let's see how good that did.
Christopher Vranos is also agreeing with you that the top of the painting looks pretty solid.
Yeah, so not subspace warp. Let's just do...
No motion makes it. Yeah, subspace warp really messed up. Position scale rotation isn't super bad, but it's not... For the painting, it doesn't work.
I mean, you can use the just legacy stabilizer probably.
Here's what I got with...
That's what I'm going to do.
Here's what I got with no motion with position scale rotation. It's good for the people, but it's not good for... It doesn't keep the painting on the wall steady.
All right, I'm going to go with up here. And hey, Chris, how you doing?
Which Chris?
Vranos. Chris Vranos.
What's up?
Yeah, Hashi's putting tracking points, if you want to switch to his screen, on the corners of the painting, since they stay in the frame the whole time. You go to the the point tracker, and it's got a stabilize option in there, and you can stabilize the position, scale, and rotation, so it gives you 2 points of tracking.
Yep.
I'm a little disappointed in that not. It's a little muddy, but I thought these were pretty distinct.
Well, try instead of that corner, try the corner inside the frame.
I thought that got paint splattered. Not too bad.
Yeah, I think it holds.
That's probably
good enough.
Higher contrast. Yeah.
Brian Smith from the chat says another approach to get to the field and the real haystacks getting splattered through the frame of the painting, which would be quite entertaining as well.
Wait, what was that?
He's suggesting that they throw the paint onto the painting, and then we cut to a shot of just the haystacks in a field getting real haystacks in a real field getting splattered by the paint, which is quite
like the world inside this painting is being devastated from the outside.
I would say you cut to inside the painting and you tell a 30-minute story about a farmer or a shepherd tending their flock or something, and carry it on until people completely forget about it. And
this
then
is
just
great.
paint.
With this harvest, we will save the family and the farm.
Get people fully invested in the family. And then just dump paint on everybody at the very end. And as the paint hits, cut to titles.
Jason Murphy says that someone should make a plugin that you could use to lock down a shot like that.
Yeah, I was sitting
That's
here
a good idea. Someone get on that.
Someone
in the chat.
Yeah.
David Fairchild, what are we working on today? We are working on jumping on the trend of vandalizing art with a purpose. Only this time, we're doing it digitally, with the same amount of damage done to the actual art as what happened in these protests. But yeah, there's been a lot of protests of people pouring paint on paintings, and we are participating.
I forgot I don't even need the whole shot, huh? I just need the...
And in this case, we are trying to make a little loop of them splattering onto this painting. So roto is happening. Stabilization is happening. All kinds of things happening.
You know what I think actually might work is to rock the footage right here and just roto just them ducking down there.
Oh yeah.
Though maybe you don't get the velocity of that pour. That pour is pretty good. I'll get them both. All right. So we've got this. We've got a pretty stabilized thing going on here, and it's not a very long shot. So I'm going to go ahead and take this little plate here. Let's trim the comp to the work area. Wait, why not? There we go. And then let's pre-compose this layer, moving all of its attributes, and say stabilized. Okay. Now we've got this thing here. All right. So we've got a little bit of black around the edges there, which we could generate with content-aware fill, which could be fun, but
I say it would be fun.
All right, let's do that. Where was our stabilized pre-comp? Okay, so here's the pre-comp, and down here we've got all this transparency, okay? But since we're starting with, since the camera's shaky and like you used to be able to see what was there, I should just be able to go over to content-aware fill on object mode, lighting correction maybe moderate, and let's say generate fill layer, and let's see what happens.
We need a drop for this one too, probably.
For content-aware fill.
Oh yeah, why don't we have that?
Yeah, we need some kind of fill it
Please.
up.
It's 100%.
There's got to be a song we can.
Maybe I should just work on that while during the show. I'll just work on drops, and you work on this.
The drop show.
Hashi, so we do have a new drop that we were getting ready to use. I hope we find an excuse to use it at some point in the show.
We'll find it.
I'm sure that we'll figure out some way to do that. All right. I'm going to, Chris, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to puppet tool their final position for a couple of extra frames that move them down and out of frame. So we'll have to do some time remapping so they kind of freeze here, but then extend that motion with 3 or 4 puppeted frames. And I think that will, with the motion blur and all the chaos of what's going on here, give us some good stuff. And what'll be kind of nice, Seth, is we might be able to have, we may be able to output a transparent, GIF and or
sticker?
Piece of footage of these two leaping up and splattering paint onto whatever. So whatever shot you have.
So we could put anything in there.
We could make it a TikTok filter that is just...
You put your face in there and it just dumps on you. That's
jumping up and splattering you with paint.
So I think we just focus on making this loop happen.
Exactly. Okay, so this is stabilized. Let's see how content-aware fill did. Let's play this whole thing. Not bad.
No.
Oh, that's.
I mean, if you're looking at just the bodies that I'm going to roto out,
it's just
not so good. But everything
that's usable though.
Yeah.
All right. So let's throw stabilized into a new comp. Let's for organization call this rotoed characters. Is there any work that you're going to be doing, Seth? Because roto brushing is exciting, but maybe not.
I don't really know
exciting.
how I can be a best of service anymore because kind of.
Well, come up with find out if we want to erase them, like come up with a still frame of this background, maybe.
Yeah.
With them painted out.
What I was going to try and do is use your 3D plane stamp to
Oh, yeah.
To create
3D plane stamp available at, let's see, well, I should just put it on my screen somehow. What can I do? Here we go. We'll just say, go to bit.ly/
Actually, it would help me once you have the
3D
roto.
plane stamp, I think.
It would help me once you have the roto of them. Although you're rotoing your stabilized version, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
That way that you can put them in whatever setup you have.
Yeah, that's smart. Then what I might need,
I think that's the right address, right?
And the right scaling of that font. Good job. I'm kidding.
Oh no, it's not that. Is it just plain stamp?
Something's wrong here.
No.
That should be our show tagline.
Fine. It's not that.
It's not that link.
Really? Then what was it? Okay, I guess I'll hide that in the meantime.
Maybe there are no capitals.
No, it's not that either.
Do we have a...
Fine.
It might help me to have your stabilized... I'm trying to think of like... because I can't get a good camera track on this unless I mask them out.
Well, all you need is a still frame. Like, get a still frame going.
But then we'll have to track it in.
Well, no, you won't have to track it in. Just make a still frame that looks enough like that background.
Oh, it's 3D stamp.
It's empty. Oh, 3D stamp. Oh, I made it simple-ish. Bit.ly 3D stamp. Like that?
That's it.
Awesome.
It's in the chat.
Yay. So go grab that thing, and then and Seth will show you how to use it.
Emerald Parrot, if you have a question, can we drop it here? You cannot post a link. YouTube does not let you post links in the YouTube chat for obvious spammy reasons. So no. But if you have a question, you could copy and paste.
Actually, Hosh, do me a favor. Can you export that stabilized version?
Yes.
By export, I mean render.
Let's save it right in the paint splatter footage.
I'm going to pull the splatter without them. I'm going to try and pull that and also create...
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to do some stuff.
I'm going to output it as ProRes. Very high quality ProRes.
Yes, because this is in need of that.
Okay, rotoed characters. We're going to go through the same setup that I've talked about many times before, where I open the layer, and then instead of what a lot of people instinctively want to do with roto brush is they're like, it's this character, so I'm just going to go all over them like that. But it looks like it did a great job right here, right? But the problem is, as it starts to move through, After Effects is going to be trying to warp that little path that you made to fit these pixels each frame, and it's going to start to get confused. So what you want to do is actually mimic the way segmentation works in any program where there's segmentation. So you want to do like a little stroke here that is representative of the head, and then one here that's representative of this back and vest. And I'm getting extra pixels, but I'm ignoring them for a moment. And then we'll do sort of the hips moving that direction, hips moving this direction, an additional one on the leg, even though it's already selected, and another one in the leg, even though it's selected, and one on the arm, even though it's selected. So now, if I were to reveal all of my actual brush strokes, which are where? Down here. You see all of these are the little things that will now move around with the body shape as it moves through each frame. And so you're much more likely to get a good result if you start with a lot of little things that will track certain shapes pretty well. So now I can delete, this extra material that I got. And should we do one at a time or two at a time? We'll do two at a time. It's a live show. We're half an hour in. So small strokes that represent each.
I don't know why I can't get this stabilized thing into After Effects. It'll play in my Finder, but then it says, could not open source file. Please check file exists with correct permissions.
Try again.
Yeah,
that happened when I tried to open it while it was still downloading on my end for a second.
Right,
okay, let's step forward a frame. And now hopefully, if our segmentation thing kind of worked out, see, it's making pretty good guesses about the human figures in this. So I will need a few correction strokes. We'll need, oh boy, Rotoing live on the air is so fun. Okay, we're getting it. Oops. Let's get that sleeve as it comes down. And let's eliminate that a little bit. You love it. You love the Roto show.
We love it. We love Roto.
Boom.
What the living heck? This freaking...
Oh, Michael, you're muted.
Oh, I was just saying the Roto show. We love it. Would be a great drop.
It would be. With Randy Newman.
Just the Roto show. We love it. And like us popping up at the bottom. Going, you know.
Randy Newman would definitely have written the score for the Roto show.
Well, I'm doing We Love LA. Yes.
We
love it.
Toy Story movies and Dodger stadiums, just full of the noom.
Full of the noom.
Do people remember the I think Mad TV sketch with Randy Newman scoring the new Star Wars movies?
I'm not seeing
with a phenomenal parody of Randy Newman style, but with Star Wars inspired lyrics. It's one of those things you didn't know you needed to see. But whoops. Come on, cans of soup. Whoops. We're starting to get fooled by this lady's face back here, or gentleman's, I'm not sure. Nope, I need this face. I'm using none of the refine brush strokes, which would be really helpful, but what I am going to do is probably turn on the motion blur effect, which often helps with something like this, with a quick action.
Justin Ledoux says they missed the first 30 minutes. What are you doing with these two troublemakers?
Welcome, Justin.
Bunch of little rascals, if you ask me. We are jumping on the train of vandalizing art by vandalizing in our own way.
And at the end, I plan to give away this some kind of video file, so you can throw these activists in front of any piece of footage you choose, vandalizing it, which will be exciting. Okay, so let's freeze our roto. Freeze. Yes. Oh, it feels so good.
It really does.
I really do love this little moment of just like watching the Pleasantville version of your
It's so fun.
efforts. Isn't it fun? And that's not bad. I mean, this is two figures doing a complicated action where they are almost a different human silhouette every frame. And we did that in what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, it did not take very long.
That's pretty good. So we've got these characters like that. A little bit poppy here and there. Let's see. We'll see in motion what betrays it the most. Okay. So let's dial up our reduce chatter button a little bit. Dial a little bit. Let's shift the edge inward a little bit and feather the edges a teeny bit more because it's pretty blurry footage. And with our motion blur on, I think we'll hopefully get a slightly more stable looking result. I think that'll key over stuff better. You can see that alpha getting really smeared out when they move. All right. So now what we need is I'm going to take these rotoed characters and I'm going to put them into a new comp, which I will call reanimate. Which I'm not really reanimating, but I'm, doing something. Let's extend the timeline to like 3 seconds worth. At the end of this, they both kind of duck down like that. So one thing that I'm curious about is at the beginning of it, they're here. And it would be kind of nice if they could get back down to a position like that. So I'm curious if there's a way that I could actually do something like utilize the first frame of it and try to find if there's a part where her body is close enough that I could use the ducking down action right afterward. And I think that there is. I think if I take this section, time reverse the layer, put it here, drag the footage out here, and I would need to, somewhat garbage matte out this side. And this is all working because this is the pre-comped piece of footage here. So as I maybe do a few little keys on this, I'm hoping that I get to a point that she's standing up and right around here, it'll pop to the new piece of footage, So there's a bit of a pop there. So really what I need is a moment like right here. And that's not bad, timing-wise. There's clearly a pop between here and here, but I think that we could fix that. Let's try adding some position keyframes to the very beginning of here. And if you're just tuning in, this is a fun way to try to turn a video into a loop. I know that this position and everything will match the end frame here for this character. So now I know my loop is going to be 64 frames long. So all I want to do is make sure that the position, scale, and rotation of her there and her here match, and then I'll trim off one frame so it's a seamless loop. So let's look between this pose and see if we can make them a little bit more similar. So the legs get spread out more here. So and the body could be moved further over here. So let's move the body over and down like that, so there's some continuity of the motion there.
Jason Murphy is suggesting that you could use some sort of AI thing, like the new Runway AI tool, to generate video frames in between those two frames.
Yeah.
You absolutely could. I think
Speaking of AI art, Justin Leduc says a quicker way to vandalize art is to simply generate some AI art. Got him. Jason Diamond says, I love Seth Beardley.
Seth Beardley. All right, I'm going to use one of my other favorite tricks, which is the liquify trick, which is
a good trick.
If I zoom in on my timeline here, I have enabled time remapping on my layer where it originally started, which is here. And that makes it, and so if I back up to where I can see both frames overlapping with each other, you can see that this is the position of the second character, and this is the position that I want it to end up in. So by going to a frame like this, taking the liquefy effect, I can take, oops, I need to turn it on first, I guess. Whoops. What am I doing? Here we go. I'm just going to move the body around a little bit like this. What would be better to do is like you put your put the opacity like halfway or something, but I'm just going for broad silhouette here. So I'll just flash it on and off and try to match where the body should be ending up just a little bit. And this is rough, but all it's going to need to do is fill in for a couple of frames. So I'll set the distortion percentage at 100% right there, and then 0% like 3 frames before. And so what will happen is for that pop over, in theory, the position and everything should look a little bit smoother. See?
It's so good.
And so now we've got to look at this. I can't tell the. Let's see. Person B, we're going to go with. Let's see, what position do they start with? And they start in that one, and we've got to find a loop point that is similar enough, which looks like it's going to be right around here. So let's duplicate this, trim it to there, and then do a time reversed layer. And now we'll do kind of what we did with the other character, where we drag it over here. And so what we should have is the beginning of this character, who I will garbage matte out as well. Oh, nope. Garbage matting is hard work.
This is such useful tips for making like seamless loops out of things that are not seamlessly looped. I'm liking this a lot. Seth, what are you working on right now? Because if not, there's someone in the chat with a question that would require you to share a link on the screen.
Oh, I've used Kingpin tracker here to like basically make a full frame of this splat. I'm going to replace the splat with a stock one that we can control and then put it back in the position that it's supposed to be so that we just have a fresh paint splat. I don't know why I did it this way. I just wanted to.
Brilliant.
And that's what I'm doing. What was the question?
Well, I've dropped the link in our Slack. There's a particular video, and the creator said they used Trapcode Particular with the emitter tracked to this pony's head to make the mane happen. It's very clever.
That's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, and the pony has gorgeous flowing mane, and it's all Trapcode Particular, which you wouldn't think in a 2D animated pony that you'd use Trapcode Particular to make the pony's mane, but it looks so flowing.
This is similar to how I did the flying worms in the. Okay, I guess I'll put it on the screen, but
it says 21 seconds is when the pony comes in.
Millions find a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov.
Sorry.
Yeah, healthcare.gov ad played for me when I looked at it too.
So healthcare.gov, if you're looking, it's here for you if you're part of the millions. All right.
Go to 21 seconds is specifically when, right here. Look at this pony's mane. This is Trapcode Particular. Isn't that so good?
Super smart.
Beautiful.
So this is very
really simple
to how I did and looks like there's like CC plastic on it or something. This is very similar to how I did the bouncing worms in our season 2 intro. We have a transition of it. Like if I go to Hashi, it's very similar to this, but using the color mapping in a different in a different way. But
I think what they did here was I would say turn off the air physics, like put air resistance down to 0, which number one turns off the air physics, obviously, so the particles don't slow down due to air resistance, but also it makes the particular run faster because it also just turns the switch off that runs that simulation. So particular will run faster with air fix off. And I think they just used displacement with the old wind, which was not a real simulation, but it was just displacing the particles. So it's under displace now. And so it's called drift. And so I think they just drifted it down and to the side and then added some turbulence in that displace section too. A turbulence field, as I think what they did. And they probably used a layer emitter that had the colors of the pony's thing and just, in like a gradient with the 3 pony or 4, however many colors that pony's mane was, and just had it at the right angle so that when they flowed off, they had that nice linear look to them. That's what I think.
I think you're right. I used a very similar thing for Kung Fu Panda. There were some... I don't remember if I have it on my computer. Let me see if I do.
Oh yeah,
what do I call it? Real footage. Nope. I would have thought it was there.
But if you track the layer that's emitting the particles to the pony's head, you can get some motion from the pony's head imparted into the particles too, by using the velocity from motion setting in the emitter. But you don't want to use too much. But just a little touch with the drifting would just. It's such a clever idea.
Let's see. Oh, I do have it. Here we go. So there was a scene in the Kung Fu Panda where they have this little flashback looking thing. I'll try to make it bigger here. And the cute little reflected Poe. This scene was a bear to do in whatchamacallit, in stereoscopic compositing. So wait. Move forward further. Come on.
I still love the fire that you made in there. It's such a clever idea.
Oh, thank you.
For those of you who don't know, he used Particular in a very clever way to make those cartoony flames.
Oh, here we are. Beginning.
Is that shine?
And there's so much shine. What was cool about shine is that shine would work as long as you parented your origin point to a 3D point, you would get proper stereoscopic output on it compared to a lot of other plugins. So it was a great way to add a 3D thing that had full parallax from foreground to background in the theater around your 2D layers, and it really created a really cool illusion. So what was I doing? I was going to trim this comp so I could loop this a little bit. So these kite strings are Trapcode Particular.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, the kite strings
or
are
the
particular?
or the kite ribbons. The kite ribbons.
Oh, little tails? Oh, those are Trapcode Particular?
Trapcode Particular. Check it out.
So good.
So a lot of fun. It was just basically a little like skinny, tall particle being emitted and being thrown through thrown through a turbulence system.
Hashi, it's so good.
So I loved that. I'd use this as a ribbon trick a lot throughout any of our 2D Kung Fu Panda kind of stuff.
It's such a good trick, and those look so good.
Like look at it. Like this curl.
Now that you
crazy.
say it, I'm like, oh, I can see it now.
You can see it, right?
Yeah.
But
that's so good.
But really cool. I think what the emitter was doing is like it would rotate back and forth like this, and so what you would get is every now and then, because it was pushing particles out a certain direction, you could get these like question mark looking curls. We simulate that with what are the simulation things called? The blobs in there. I can never remember what they're called.
Streaklets?
The
or
like
cloudlets?
We've got those like invisible blobs of fractal noise that are
cloudlets,
liquid,
streaklets, right?
Can curl around. There's a name for it in simulation terms, and I just don't remember what it is.
Vortices?
It doesn't.
I don't know what you're trying to describe.
It's like if you are simulating like curls in smoke and stuff. You have your system. It is just vortices. That sounds so boring now. I built this up like it was a cool term.
It is a cool term.
Anyway, let's go ahead and
smoke and fire and other vorticing motion is really cool. Speaking of, unrelated to that, you should tune in Wednesday.
You should tune in Wednesday to see if there's anything new coming to Cinema 4D. All right, I'm just going to do a little bit of liquefying. This is also very, very prevalent in any kind of video that depends on hidden cuts. Zach King's team is extremely proficient at the liquefy into a perfect match frame situation.
I mean, even if it's like trained dancers who have full control of their bodies doing scripted stuff, you still are going to need to push them into place. But in this case,
but don't let them know. Let them go bash the VFX team afterward.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's set the keyframe there on this one to be at 100% and back at 0% here. Whoops. Okay, let's add some keyframes. Because this will only work if they keyframe on, like right at the last minute. Okay, Seth, I think this might be it. I think this, once it plays through, will be my looped dipping down and splattering paint repeatedly.
Nice.
Here we go. Yay.
Yay.
Okay, so there's clearly some camera movement drift going on in here, specifically right here. If you watch, like, the anchor of this foot would be over here, and then the camera kind of drifts this way for a second.
Yeah.
And then it kind of catches up by the end. So I'm going to try to offset that by Control R, making a guide right here for where that foot should be planted, doing a top adjustment layer with some transform on it. And let's put a keyframe for position right here. Let's scroll to where it feels like the camera does its drifts and then stops right around here. So let's then position this back over that way. I think we're making keyframes. Great. Let's do that. And then it's a very slow drift back. So I'll just copy that first keyframe all the way back to over here. And I think that'll keep them somewhat stable. Okay, a little bit more locked to the ground where they are now. And Seth, would it be helpful if they are all the way out of frame at the beginning and pop in? Like, do you want the full freedom of this, and then you can position them to be out of frame?
I mean, I can size this. Like,
all right. So I'll output this as a TIFF sequence with alpha. Now, I've heard that a TIFF sequence with alpha is what you should move toward instead of your PNGs with alpha in terms of After Effects efficiency and loading times.
And you are correct with that. PNGs are a lot smaller in size, but they're so much slower to work with in After Effects. Like I mean, you could demonstrate the difference by just rendering out a TIFF sequence and then a PNG sequence and watch how long it takes to encode, then import them both and use Oscar the snail to see how long each layer is taking to be read in. And you'll note the significant difference.
Wait,
if anyone at home doesn't want to just take people's word for it.
Wait, I thought that I had fixed the position on that character. Is this it?
We should make them splat stuff on the painting, revealing that flashback scene from Kung Fu Panda is behind the art.
Thank you for catching that. Who caught that? Jason.
Justin Leduc says, a swear word, didn't know about the TIFF thing. Thanks for that. You're welcome. That's what we're here for. This show is full of TIFF tips.
TIFF tips.
That sounds like a drop too. TIFF tips.
TIFF tips.
But that's really the only TIFF tip, is that you should use them instead of PNGs. You could use Targa or EXRs, but they're a whole other level of things with EXRs.
I sound like a weird, grandpa talking about.
Well, yeah, EXRs can be can have layers and layers and layers of other things in them. I use them outputting passes from a 3D render.
All right, I'm rendering this over itself. And it said it couldn't delete something. I don't know what. Good luck. Okay, there you go, Seth. At 53 minutes in, we've got you a looping thing.
Looping people. That's what we've done.
Wonderful.
Looping people.
You got me over here messing with the hair thing. I'm going to give up on it for now. But
because you could just take these little looping people, put them in the corner of all of your.
Oh, hey, I recognize this.
Let's see.
Are you doing a pony mane or are you doing the Iron Cat? Nyan Cat? Nyan Cat? How do you pronounce that, Chad? Is it Nyan Cat? Nyan Cat?
What did you render out?
I think it's Nyan Cat. And I can't remember. Oh, man, I used to know who.
Hey, Hash, what'd you render? What am I looking for?
Oh, it's under probably renders. Then it's called Reanimate, which is a stupid name.
The TIFF sequence?
Yes.
Does it start with 06? I'm going to assume it does.
That's the one, yeah.
Okay.
Now, here's a good tip for folks out there who want to not have to wonder where your renders go. In After Effects, you can set up a default render path with tokens so that your renders will always go into a folder next to your project file, and they're named the composition, or they're in a folder named the date, the time. You can add all these different tokens, so After Effects automatically names and places your layers in the directory structure that fits your workflow. So you'll always know where they are. They'll be in relation to your project file, and they'll be named however you like them to be named, with dates, times, whatever, and in whatever folder structure you need.
Very
so you don't
helpful if you're at a studio, especially.
Cinema 4D has that as well. They have tokens in their render settings too, so you don't have to name it the comp name or the project name. You can have all of that work. So I know some folks who have a folder that's based on the project name, and the project name will be blah 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 01 or 001, however many revisions they expect to have, and then 002 as a save incremental, which you should all be doing. Save incremental is very important anytime you make massive change, or at least once a day. Control Alt Shift S, And so some people have like a folder for the project name, and then inside, and then the renders are named the composition name. But do whatever works for your workflow. No, sorry, I should have talked longer about that.
You should have. I'm going off the rails. Someone's going to have to pull me back.
That's what I did with the stupid unicorn thing, or My Little Pony thing. I'm doing my favorite thing, which is to...
It's too late. I am off the rails.
I'm doing my favorite thing, which is to go into Photoshop. If I'm just going to be rotoing a still, I just take it into Photoshop. I send it through content aware fill as a reference frame, sends it straight over to Photoshop.
Oh, nice.
And then I just auto select this painting, and then I'll do...
Oh, Seth.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. I could do the object thing. Fine. Shut up. Go die.
Yeah, Photoshop has so many new tools so quickly. I don't do enough still frame editing, but yeah, like the object selection tool is awesome. And as we all saw from Max, like soon you can type a prompt to replace what's in the object selection area, which is...
Let me tell you something.
Wild.
I don't know if I want that. My mouth...
You don't want to be able to put a whimsical owl in the middle of that?
I don't want to have to describe something. It's like...
Hashtag ArtStation.
That's what directing people is
render.
like. I give me imagery to work from, but like having to just use my mouth like some kind of director, that's cause for failure.
No, Seth Worley famously bad at expressing ideas.
I heard from Tony Hale he thought you're cool.
Wasn't he
on like ABC or something?
On the news program.
I can guarantee you, I am not
the news program.
Love producing my friend's movie.
All right, fine. So Tony likes my movie. Doesn't mean that he liked the direction I gave him, which we could... anyway, all right. Select and mask. I wasn't even paying attention. I was trying to convince you guys that I suck at my job.
You'll never convince us.
Damn you.
Until you start actually sucking.
And I never will. No, wait, that's not my point.
What I like to do is whenever Seth expresses one of these insecurities to me, I like to start typing. Like he's like, I don't know, I feel like I really sucked this week. And I'll start typing and then delete it and see how long, and then not respond for like 12 hours.
Wait, start typing what?
Just anything.
Like if you type in Slack, like, I'm sorry, man, I've been really letting everyone down this week.
So I get the
dot immediately, and then just like leave that in the field, and then clear out the field, and then wait for 12 hours before I talk to you.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, random loop of this sprite.
So that's a nice pro tip if you want to really annoy someone. Another really cool pro tip, someone said they're like producer person who's like figured out how to work in Photoshop and Illustrator, was wanting them to send them their After Effects project files so they could kind of noodle with them, which first of all, slightly insensitive to hire an After Effects artist and be like, can I just noodle with your work, as someone who's never used After Effects before? So like, they were asking, what do I do in this situation? Like, well, they've never opened After Effects before. So number one, they're going to be struggling from the get-go. But to make it more fun, why don't you make some use of the shy switch and maybe set some things as guide layers and really confuse the heck out of them.
Oh, man. I remember
because if you don't know what a shy layer is, it'll get you.
They'll get you.
I love it. Seth Hashi has done a thing.
Like I said, I've gone off.
Finally,
I've put these characters into Particular. So now, oh gosh, that's okay. So we need some shadowlets in here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so sorry, but this is what has to happen.
Hey,
now.
Speaking
of shadowlets, a relatively new feature is that you can make the shadowlets take on the shape of the particle instead of just being little circles. It takes a little longer to render. Because
true. Like classic shadowlets are just, let's see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it here. They're just a generally round circle kind of thing. But, and let me see, if I turn the softness all the way down, you'll be able to see that a little bit
and the distance, yeah.
But, and I'll adjust the size down.
We want the wall
just round.
Here,
but you
right?
can check match particle shape, and that will actually do shadows from these characters onto the other ones, which is great. So as I turn the softness up here, you'll see more subtly that the shape is a lot better.
We want to keep the wall in this background, right? Or no? How much of this do we want?
I don't remember what the wall looked like.
I mean, we don't like. Whatever we put on the wall is going to cover it.
This is what we're getting with like the frame, just the people in the frame.
Mm-hmm.
But if we want to keep the wall, I'll just have to. I'm going to be painting those people out. I think it's kind of funnier if we keep the wall in the background. The trick is, I'll get rid of those people. It'll just be. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to show.
I think that's good. Yeah, just that whole thing, because that's what is recognizable on the.
Yep. So since it's just a still, I'm just going to do this in Photoshop.
Frigby Chilla there says, bad word. The changes in the clocks in the UK means I've missed the first hour. Yes. If we're going to have clocks changing, we should all be synced up on when they change. But no, England and Germany have switched, and we have not yet.
So fun to try to run a planet, you know?
Whoever's in charge of it's not doing such a great job. Jason Murphy says it looks like they're desperately trying to save a sinking boat. It does indeed.
It does.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Here, check this out in motion.
The symbolism there.
I have the.
Oh my gosh, Hashi.
Here's the efforts to bail out a sinking ship.
Oh, that's
and also
so good.
A pro tip, like, you know, you can get a really cool crowd. And like, look, if I took this thing and since there's not motion blur from the particle motion, I could still add a, let's see, which one do I want? I want pixel motion blur, I think works on particular by, nope. Is it force motion blur?
I think so. I can't remember.
I know one of them, it's the way it can only blur what's getting into like the, I don't know, After Effects is something image buffer. So if it doesn't, so it depends on the render order in After Effects. But
Christopher Avranos says, I love the entirely insane digressions into particles. Yeah, we tend to do that around these.
We kind of do. And let's see. Oh, maybe on these particles, I wonder if I could go to their sprite. I'm going to turn up colorize.
So you can randomize it. Yeah.
Let's see. What do I want?
Randomize color by like 10%?
Color fill by wait, do I need to select sprite colorize? I didn't think so. No, it's not that anymore. It's colorize and then set color random from gradient.
Yeah.
There we go. And so now
or you could
there we go.
Yeah. Speaking of color gradients, you should tune in Wednesday.
You should tune in Wednesday. Because like I could jump in here to like edit my
don't worry about that.
Gradient,
don't worry about that.
But it's it's just who has the time?
Hit randomize on that button. On the button there.
Randomize.
Yeah, let the computer pick your colors.
Oof.
Oh, hit it a few times.
Let me turn up the colorize all the way. I'm in this muddy in between. And I'll turn up the colorize fill a little bit. Now let's go. Randomize. See, the problem is you get a lot of gray in here.
You do.
I wish there were.
Pick your own colors. Go crazy.
Oh, right.
Or just go rainbow. Who cares?
Yeah, let's just go with the presets. You know, there's not very many presets in here.
Speaking of presets.
Okay.
Michael is just keeping me within my NDA is all.
Seriously, you guys
making some
and girls and everyone else, tune in.
Making some observations.
Wednesday.
See, and now, you know what I could do with this is if I were, I don't know. Let's see. Let's import. This is a very good idea, everyone. I'm not straying at all from our original idea. Okay, I'm going to put a white background there. I'm going to turn up the brightness and contrast of my
Hashi, this is looking like a piece of modern art. This really looks like modern art.
I'm going to add some CC vector blur, and let's turn that up.
Oh, I'm loving it. Too much.
Right. Ridge smoothness. Do I want more smoothness?
Yeah, I was going to say smooth it.
See, I want about this much smoothness. And instead of natural, let's say some directional
fading
center. And, let's turn the number of revolutions way down to like just slightly over 1. Okay. And
so
now
this is
what
so
I need
good.
on top of this is an adjustment layer with some texturized motion.
For the paper or the canvas.
Let's see. Okay, yeah. Okay, I don't want the mask in the middle here. So I want no mask. I want the whole thing texturized. And let's go with a canvas style. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look at this.
Yes, we've made art. We've made art.
Look at this. And texturized motion means
so good.
That when I press play, oh yeah, we've got some stop motion art that no one would consider throwing soup at.
No one would throw soup at this, or mashed potatoes.
Look at this,
or glue themselves to it.
You see, and if I hadn't done the work to roto those people, there's no way you could have gotten this result without a Trapcode Particular system running under this. Now look at this.
This is so...
Look at this. Look, a heart appears right here. See?
Come on, folks. There's 51 of you watching now, and only 14 thumbs ups. And this right here is worthy of a thumb up. And if you're not subscribed, come on,
Harry Frank,
hit that subscribe.
Welcome, because I am using Universe Texturized Motion to make this lovely piece of art. Because today we are focusing on art, and originally the plan was to vandalize pieces of art, but I started to empathize slightly with these painters and figured that it would actually be better to
turn the vandals into paint.
Turn them into... Oh, I don't need that force motion blur on there anymore. Let's just color them up, vector blur them like this, and then texturize motion them. I love it. And in fact, my texturized motion, I would change the scale of this. Do you think that is a thing that I can monkey with? Because that would be really cool if I could just dive in here and say, let's change the scale of this down to I mean,
better.
Look at this.
Look at that.
This is crazy. This is good art.
I'm so proud of your art, Hashi.
Let me see. What angle offset could I get? You see, that's looking a little bit too digital. Now, if I rotate this around too much. So I've got to have just a slightly less.
Harry Frank is asking, Sketchify? You could throw Sketchify before texturized motion.
Well, that's
somewhere
true.
In this mix.
I'm going to turn on turbulent displace on twist mode and see if I can get some. Let me see. Let me turn the size way up, the amount down a little bit, so it'll get some big old smears in here.
Mm-hmm.
See, really, this should have just been our Bob Ross style episode where we slowly paint something from scratch here.
I mean, we are making happy little accidents on the way. We didn't think we'd end up with canvas full of people throwing paint.
And what blows my mind too is I can take my camera right now and I can start to rotate around this. This shape is a 3D shape, y'all.
Yeah, this is so good.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, this is so good.
Oh my gosh. What is happening right now?
Art is happening. And the fact that this thing's animated. So you can animate the camera and all the people are throwing it's so good. It's so good.
Whoa. I didn't know that this is what was going to happen today. Because what I clearly need now is there we go. Some little eyes on the front of this
awesome.
Caterpillar.
It's a very hungry caterpillar.
It's very hungry. Eric Carl, your services are no longer required. There it is. It's beautiful. It's art. It's animated. Let's see what this thing looks like animated.
You could probably turn off the shadowlets too at this point.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, they're getting buried.
Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good.
And just, to save a teeny bit of time too, it's likely that I could go down to my particular system and instead of these giant sprites, just use some colors.
No, boo.
Let's see. I just want to see what would happen if these were just spheres instead.
Boo.
Ooh, yeah. Never mind. I flew too close to the sun.
That still looks good, but this is so much better.
Let's see. Well,
because it's got the texture in it.
Got to iterate on this the way they would. I'll call this Art 1. And then we'll put it up here. We'll duplicate it so we can mess around with some other options. Let's delete our eyes here, and we'll go to, let's switch to, let's use something other than particular, just out of curiosity. What if I were to, I'm going to delete this layer, and now I'm going to mess around a little bit. Let's add a new solid, and then we will add some fractal noise to it.
Yes.
I'm going to turn the contrast high and the brightness high, like that. And then we'll add some colorama to this. So we get lots of colors. Let's go to the complexity of our fractal noise and turn it down. We don't need a lot of complexity. We just want all the colors, lots of colors. And then we're going to turn it into some beautiful art using my very good friend.
Change your fractal noise type to turbulent twisty, I think.
Oh yeah,
because then when you animate the evolution, it'll move different.
Oh yeah, let's see.
But you might want to add one more level of. Oh yeah, look at that.
It's pretty wild. I might scale this up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends. We can mess with all of this stuff after I add what I'm really here for, which is. Let's delete that camera for just a second, and then we'll add some CC ball action.
CC ball action.
Thank you for that. I needed it. All right. So let's rotate this the ball action 90 degrees.
CC ball action.
And then we'll set the twist angle to brightness. And as I dial up the twist angle, the brighter pixels are going to move around faster than the dark ones. And
wow, you've coloramaed it, so the color brightnesses are all fairly similar.
I actually want the colorama to happen after this, maybe. So that way the twist angle will be moving the...
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Now we're getting some cool abstractions. So let's change the scale of my fractal noise and see how that affects CC ball action.
Don't do it every time.
CC ball action.
All right, so what have we got here? So I want the twist angle to be about 90 degrees, and then I want to start out the brightness low, like this. So we'll start it at around here, and then as I key up the brightness, what will happen is we'll start to see these particles flowing out and spinning around. Whoa. Okay.
Solid.
All in After Effects effect here.
That's so good. Osteen Ramjerholten, oh sorry, I'm mispronouncing that name, says, missed the live stream last time, but was so shocked when Valentina sweared since she's so wholesome in the Adobe and Aperture videos. Yeah. Yeah, she we did not hold her back. And if you missed it and you want to watch that show after this one is done, the link is in the chat. Valentina V guested on the show. And thank you. Jason Diamond says, please never don't do that ball action beat drop.
CC ball action.
I guess it triggers even if I just say it without the CC in front of it. Oh, Hashi, look at that. Feathery. Oh, nope, too far.
Went too far. Bring it back. Whoa, wait, where were we?
There. Looks like a feather.
It does. Okay, let's see.
Which my boys love finding outside.
Feathers are the best. Okay, let's see what we got here now. Let's try. Oh, you know what? On texturized motion, I'm actually not going to animate it. I just want it to texture speed. I want that to be at 24. And I want, where's the posterized time?
You turn that off. You could turn the wiggly off too.
Let's see, why is my brain? Oh, jitter. That's not jitter. That way we can just watch the beautiful. Well, first of all, let me make sure it's doing what I hope over here. Wait, where's my oh, my vector blur is on the wrong level. It belongs on the same level as my CC ball action.
Corridor ready. CC ball.
Well, spoiler alert. Corridor did
spoiler alert for that drop.
We have found that often in the show we are treading through, things that other visual effect groups may have covered.
What? No.
It would be impossible.
It's weird.
Why is this taking so long?
Pull up Oscar and find out.
That's a good point. Oscar, why is it taking so long to go? What is
twirl it down and you'll see per effect what each one's doing.
What is taking so long?
There you go.
What's the vector blur?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why are you taking so long, vector blur? I mean, you look cool. I mean, you're giving me cool stuff, but oh yeah, look at this.
That looks like a music visualizer.
Heck yeah, that's all I've ever wanted to do is make stuff that was worthy of Winamp, you know?
It really whips. Something about an alpaca, I don't know.
It really whips the llama's ass. is the full drop.
That is fully it. No, he's not he's not making audio spectrum. He's just playing around with art techniques. We got very distracted from
we got way off track.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's just making it. Basically, what Hashi's doing is he's making the particles in flip from full this way to full this way, but based on the luminance of a fractal noise, which is also driving the colors and the fractal noise vibrance is changing. It's such a good little technique to make cool little things. And Aditya, you do not need to yell. We can hear you.
Let's see. Let me see what happens if I throw this under if I go to a random frame with a texturize effect, how that looks. Not as cool as I wanted this to look. I was having some fun just before the show with CC ball action, doing some abstract kind of stuff.
CC ball action.
This piece of art I call the ramen noodle drop right here.
It's raining noodles.
It's raining noodles. And that is just, let me turn off my vector blur effect. This is just, let's see, let's go to a different camera angle here. Check this out. This is CC ball action working as basically...
CC ball action.
I'm taking the whole image and I'm just melting it away. Look at that. In fact, I could press F11 and go to my custom camera view so you can actually see it in 3D. Look at that. That's all in After Effects, people. What's kind of cool about this is, let me break down this effect. This is very simple. We've got a fractal noise layer, and then I put a little mask up here, so it's just the kind of top half of frame. And as I scrub through, I make the fractal go from bright to all the way dark, and it has a nice little organic pattern. Then I apply CC ball action, and
CC
once
ball
you do that, you've got a true 3D thing. So I can move my camera all around, and I can see these in actual 3D. And so if I line this up sort of, right at this angle, and start rotating all of these particles around based on their brightness, since I'm keying the brightness of different parts, I'm getting this cool effect of like sand falling down. And this really great disintegration effect. Like, look at that. So 100% After Effects thing that you could probably throw pixel motion blur on or force motion blur. Let's see, what does that look like? Force motion blur. Ooh, force motion blur didn't like the camera.
First motion blur.
Or, oh, no, I was in the custom camera angle, so it's just forcing me back to this view. But let's see. But it did motion blur it, right? Yeah. So now, so if you ever need a quick and dirty kind of particle effect and you don't have the time to mess with something, you could try this. And look at the weird thing that's happening on the top here. This is almost what I did for the fire in Kung Fu Panda, which is there are bright particles emitting upward, and just to the sides of them, there are dark particles that are punching out it. And so you kind of get these sharper shapes. It's weird. But anyway, what I'm telling everyone to do is to go home, jump into After Effects, and play with your CC ball action.
CC ball action.
And keeping in mind, you can do really cool techniques using animated fractal noise like this in Trapcode Particular and Form, although there's Form and Particular now, so we might as well just use Particular, to get a lot of really cool effects. You can map across X, Y, and Z across your particles to derive all kinds of things based on layer maps. Layer maps are extremely powerful in Form/Particular. And you can do a lot of crazy cool stuff with them, too.
Very, very cool. A good suggestion. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Getting all of that away. It looks so cool. So the drawback of something like CC ball action compared to Trapcode Particular
CC ball
is
action.
You can't separate the luminance of the erosion from being the texture on the surface. So I couldn't put like a logo on here.
Right.
Unfortunately. But if I were using another thing like Trapcode Particular in classic form mode, I could.
Yeah, you could do a lot of crazy stuff with it. Like, especially doubling up, like you can use one layer map to drive one thing and another layer map to drive another thing, and you can get crazy powerful stuff out of it. Like, it's ridiculous the stuff you can do. I've not seen people push that as nearly as far as they really should be.
Really, definitely should push farther. In fact, let me pull up something that we were playing with at Adobe Max, and I have to credit the amazing Chad Perkins. We are somewhat recreating all of our presentations from Adobe Max. You'll be able to see them on the Red Giant channel after a while. But let me see if I saved this somewhere on here. I'm hoping that I did. Bop, 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 bop. Open project. You can do it. You can do it. Not responding. Why not respond? There we go.
Why not respond?
The last time I opened this, it was on some other random laptop at the presentation. And then I think I threw that file back onto here. Let's see if we did. Ground. No. Well, nuts. Well, this one isn't it. Here's what I tried at Max. I tried taking this comp, doing like motion tracks of it, and then generating a bunch of layers with AI to replace the background and throw them in there and slowly like turn it into a action movie kind of thing. But that's not what I wanted to show you all. I wanted to show you all something more exciting, which was maybe this one. So Chad Perkins was showing people how they could use depth maps as displacement maps in Trapcode Mirror, which is
clever.
Ingenious. And I think that at some point I was able to play with that.
Harry Frank is in the chat asking, is Seth doing a crossword puzzle?
No.
What's going on over there, Seth or Son?
Nothing interesting. I forgot what our goal was with this, and
we were all over the place today.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right.
I mean, we were doing splatter, like infinite splattering, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were gonna make something that you could splatter.
Where'd it go? Hang on a second.
I mean, the problem was we got distracted by My Little Pony, and we started going crazy with particles, and we just didn't stop. Is what happened.
It is hard to not get distracted by My Little Pony.
It's true.
Ponies and particles are both very distracting.
So what we were originally doing was like taking these two characters, and they were going to splat something over here. But what we need is we actually need a splat on screen. Just before the show,
Seth's got it.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It just needs to drip down, like liquefy down into the frame. Like it just disappeared the frame. Like
so the question is, how does it? What's the goal here? Are we looping? Like
yes.
All right, so we're looping it and then putting whatever we want in there. Then in that case,
so does the paint drip down off of it to loop? Like
I think the paint should drip down. I think it should drip into the drip down, but go like into the frame and not come off onto the wall. Like it should just go in like Banksy's shredder, but without coming out the bottom.
It could also just blend into like it could
like fade away, sort of.
Like if we did like a fractal noise.
Or like a fractal noise transition, like a soft.
And it just like blurbed in.
Illuma matte, basically, yeah.
And what's nice is that nowadays you can make your difference matte anywhere in the After Effects layer stack and source it as a Luma or
the selectable track mats are so nice.
I'm still getting used to them though. They've taken me some getting used to.
They take just a second of thought longer than I wish they did when I'm just doing it the old way. So I'm like, just grab the one above it, and then I'm like, no, you got to select the one above it. But I think
Jason Murphy suggests they throw a different color paint each time, which is nice. We could get a loop of like 3 or 4 different colors going, so it doesn't seem quite as loopy at first.
That's a good idea.
Kunami says, "Oh wow, Chad Perkins' name I haven't heard in quite some time." You're going to be hearing a lot more.
Man.
We've had
Chad Perkins has not been sleeping on his skill set. So
there's a lot from Chad on the Maxon Training Team YouTube channel. So if you have not been to the Maxon Training Team YouTube channel, highly recommend. There are a number of really good sessions on there with Chad Perkins and others.
The Demystifying Post-Production series is an incredible one. If you work in any kind of post related facility.
Yeah, there's like the whole workflow series and there's ones on color grading, and there's ones on particles, and there's all kinds of stuff. We've got a new series starting this month, Monday.
Hey.
We have a new series starting called what's it called? MoGraph Mondays, something like that. Monday MoGraphs. MoGraph Mondays. I'm going to put the link. Red Giant is going to put the link in the chat for that.
Thank you, Red Giant.
And it's going to be a lot of Cinema 4D in some of the episodes, and it's going to be some Trapcode in some of the other episodes. It's pretty cool. But anyway, and also Chad Perkins is also working on some getting started tutorials for some more of our tools. So there's a lot coming out. Ahmed Rashid asks, any behind-the-scenes info about Maxon teasers on Twitter? Traditionally, Maxon has never said anything until release day. So the fact that we're like seeing stuff leak out on Twitter now is new.
Stuff new.
That's there's your behind the scenes information. It's new. Maxon usually is very tight-lipped, and now we're starting to be like all teasy, which I'm on board for because it's a ton of fun. But it's just also irking because you're like, I just want to talk about it and we can't.
Hey Seth, would you output that background image, your background, and send it over to me?
Yeah. I'll
clean that up while you.
Thank you. It's a gross combination of things, and I also have and at one point using this little bit of like really badly keyed splash.
Nice. Well, you can keep that badly keyed splash in there. Just give me one frame of whatever you're using as
badly keyed splash is my nickname. Yeah, I'll. God, I should have named these layers. I don't know what anything is.
It's like a jump scare. You're scrolling down right there.
Yeah.
Yet again, we are a cautionary tale for workflow trip outs.
I think this is it.
Wow, yeah, right there.
Look at this.
Yeah. Any of those
terrible.
stills.
No labels, no colored layers, all the same. Tisk.
Just Control Alt S. It doesn't even need to be video. Just Control Alt S. I
don't even have to do that.
That state.
I've got my Stream Deck button that just sets it right up for me.
What?
What?
Gosh. Just throw it in the Elements folder or somewhere, or the Renders folder. And we'll go live now to see how soon. Back that ground up.
Done.
And I'm watching on my end. Let's see it drop box. All right, I'm going to do some cleanup on this for us.
What? It's perfect looking.
I mean, it looks.
I threw it together
perfect
very quickly because I kind of didn't care anymore. I was like,
That's what I'm here for, Seth. I'll help.
Caring.
With the caring. I'm going to use one of my favorite techniques for rebuilding backgrounds.
Caring. Well, it's doing this thing right now. It could fix the edges and stuff a lot, and it doesn't look super great, but it's the idea of it.
I do like the idea of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do over here, I don't know if visually it's very exciting, but I am going to use the smudge tool and basically just use that to do a lot of tidying up here, which is fun because I can grab the smudge brush like here, switch over me for a sec. So I've got this image, and there's a lot of stuff that's a little bit weird, but for example, there's this little molding on the ground here that you don't really see. So I can click here and then shift click to over here, and do this kind of silly version of in painting that is just stretching out the pixels behind it. And I kind of like doing things this way because over time you're like blending the two colors together a little bit from one side to the other. And it's not very precise, but it's a little bit helpful for linear stuff.
Colors.
So there we go. I'll just brush stroke across that and then do one more. Let's get that angle a little bit more accurately. There we go. See, now that's nice and clean. See, I'm doing a lot of painting in these programs of ours today. I turn the strength down a little bit, then the smudge brush turns into more of a blending kind of tool. And if I turn the strength back up all the way to 100, then I can grab an area like this and shift click across it, and I get these. That's too much, but start trying to recreate this floor. Not great, but it's a little bit smoother than we had going on before. And you know what? I'm going to replace this floor with something. Let's go to. Oh, this was exciting. This is Thomas getting vandalized by activists for against diesel trains.
Excellent.
Excellent.
What do I want? I want to go to maybe PX here. And let's just look up a nice little wood floor.
Oh, bunnies.
Wood floor. Actually, you know what? I could probably just look up museum. If I could spell it. Museum. Let's see. We're getting closer. I just want to. Come on. There's got to be so many museums with a boring old wood floor pattern. Art gallery. Come on. Why photograph the floor more often in these places?
Photographers are like, what would be great for uploading?
There we go.
Would be the floor. There it is.
All right. So free for personal and commercial use. Let's download the original, baby. Save
who's
this.
Who's the photographer?
The photographer is Ricciardus.
Thank you, Ricciardus.
You're welcome.
I think I just typed 4. Okay. I just want like this kind of a thing, because this is sort of the same angle as this. There we go.
Nailed it.
It's perfect. It seamlessly fits in there. Okay, I'm obviously not going to do exactly that. What we're going to do is we're going to do some
Dun, dun, dun.
see, it's not at a proper angle to begin with when I'm trying to corner pin it. So what do I got to do? I got to cheat it by trying to find. That's at least a little bit more convincing. So let's duplicate that. And okay, I know. And Seth, if you're doing something more visually interesting, you're always welcome to take it back.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to darken this floor a little bit, mush these together, and then try to see if I could use this as a slight overlay on this floor, just turning down its opacity a little bit, maintaining some of the color that's back there. And I'll just erase this bit of it. This is a less good job than I wish I were providing, but it's okay.
We're on Seth's screen at the moment. And he's making the paint fade away.
Fade away.
Making the paint fade away.
There's the CC film burn transition would also work here.
Oh, damn. That's a thing?
It's an odd little transition because I always feel like, there's should be more control to it than there is.
That's the hard part is wanting control in some of these.
I always want more controls. Yeah, I'm always like, just give it to me.
Silence.
Film burn effect could do essentially what I just did, but
Well, yeah, but you've got more control over it in more detail. The film burn is pretty soft, like not soft, but like rounded, like film burn is.
this definitely needs a drip a little more as it does this. So
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's the? Here, open that up. Let me show you a fun way.
I was just going to liquefy. What were you going to do?
Oh, I was going to use CC smear.
I was going to use particular.
Not CC smear. We're going
man.
for time now. We got 20 minutes.
CC smear would be good. El Moody Mingit Sunda says, question about the paint fadeaway. How do you remove the edges that result from the matte? What do you mean?
There is a weird little thing happening at the edges.
Yeah, and the trick, what I did with that. There is a thing happening with edges, or there was?
Oh, it looked like it's gone now. Yeah, now it's gone.
Yeah, and the way that I did that was that I'm using a noise layer as my Illumimat here, and it was originally set at, weird. I just changed the blending mode to none on it instead of normal, and somehow that did what I wanted it to do.
Perfect.
So let's smear CC Smir this.
Okay, so what this does is it has 2 points somewhere on the screen, and it's set to 100.
Pinocchio knows.
Point A to point B. Yeah. So change that radius way down.
Oh, down.
Oh, look at that. No, come on.
You're doing a bunch of them? I was just going to do you're right. Doing a bunch of them is smart.
Now you can just artfully place 3 of them. And what you could do is... I
would keyframe it moving on before you start duplicating. So you don't have to...
You guys.
Re-keyframe.
Mom.
And I'm very sorry for how I pronounced your name, Mr.
Seth.
or Mrs. or Ms. Sunda. Yes, now we got some CC smear action going on, Jason Murphy says.
CC smear action.
Which we don't have
I've just
to drop
saved over that background JPEG. With a slightly more cleaned up one.
Okay. I will get on that.
So I was trying to do something similar with CC Smear, and I couldn't quite figure out what I wanted to do. I wanted to add a random position to point A, and then have point B always be, 500 pixels down below that point.
Yes.
And then be able to duplicate the effect a lot. But the problem is when I expression link the 2 point to be referencing the smear effect, you can't duplicate it because now there'll be 2 CC smears in your effect stack. And so it'll refer to the old CC smears start position. But I'm positive there's a way to get it done.
I'm just enjoying the overall look of this. This is turning into a great little thing. I like our digression from our initial plan. It's turned into a very fun episode.
And you know what I should be doing right now is I should figure out. I should open up that program that allows you to turn whatever we're making into a TikTok filter. So I'm going to try that right now. Oh, I'm downloading an update, which is 500.
Yeah, the new update to Effect House lets you do pet face tracking now and work.
CC Smear actually did a.
Yeah, look at that! Look at that! It smears.
That's great. Oh yeah, that's some good smearage. Okay, so now take this comp and make the color of the paint what's it called? An essential graphic control.
Yeah, promote it to be an essential property.
And then make basically like a loop that's like 4 of these in a row where you can change the hue. Color.
Yeah.
One sec, just getting rid of things. Wait, is that all the background? Yeah, that's the whole background. Okay. So sorry, what do you want me to go do?
And then just vertically format it all, please, too.
You got it?
I'm just joking.
Oh. Wait, what did you want me to do?
No, I'll say, so go to whatever the paint color is coming from.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what you're using to generate the color. But if it's a picker, make that an essential property.
Okay.
And then you can take this whole thing into another comp where you loop it like 4 times and...
What? Are you...
Just hang on a second.
I see what he's doing.
I forgot the name of it. I forgot. Color control. Thank you. Let's go. Where was I? Oh, I did it inside the comp. So what I'll do is go in here. Turn off.
Well, if you did it inside a comp, then you can just promote that to a special property of that comp.
I don't want to.
Then in the main... Oh, you don't want to?
No, I want you to shh.
Hey, Michael, does Red Giant have a TikTok account?
Yes.
Yes.
We don't currently do anything with it because I haven't really decided how to make things happen on it the way I want. Because, TikTok wants you to post pretty frequently, and the algorithm does nicer to you if you do. But the key is it also has to be engaging content for the algorithm to like you. Yeah. And I'm trying to decide which way to go, because I could do real casual, like, hey, guys, this is me, blah, blah, blah. And like,
you don't have to say it's never mind.
I think you do.
I couldn't think of the right
Or I could do tutorials with that TikTok voice on them. Or like there's so many different things I could do with it, and I just haven't decided what to do with it. So hey, chat folks, do you have any idea what you'd like to see Red Giant's TikTok do?
I've frozen. Let me see. What can I do to...
Did freeze.
Come back here.
I bet Effect House screwed things up.
Yeah, I think it did. I think it was trying to use my camera in the preview. So instead of a camera, use an idle person. Okay, let's use this. All right, I'm going to make the... So that's the transparency behind all of that, right, Seth?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Excellent. So what Seth just did was made it so that color is an essential property, which means that as soon as he moves this pre-comp anywhere else, you'll be able to change the property of the color of the paint in it, and it won't affect this original. So he's titling it main comp, painting main comp.
I don't know what to call it, but that'll help me. And
essential properties are extremely powerful for being able to have like a bajillion copies of something.
So if I have this now,
control it separately.
Yeah, so I can go down here and I can just change the color to. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to change the splatter as well, which is here. Let's see.
Ooh, now I'm going to try to find out if in Effect House how I could add this video with an alpha channel. Because you'd think you'd be able to add something, but I also don't know what format would have this as an alpha channel, or if I'd have to use two layers combined with each other to make an alpha channel. But I want to figure it out. Research time. Video with in Effect House. Blend mode for This is just for images though, right?
Sunny, TikTok is like Vine, if you remember what Vine used to be like, but more viral than Vine was.
Someone doesn't know what TikTok is?
It is banned in their country.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
They don't specify, or county or city. They don't. They just say it's banned where they are. I don't know if they just mean their house, or their town, or their county, or their province, or their country. They just say it's banned here. I assume they meant country, but they could just be living in their parents' house and there's no TikTok here. So I don't know.
True, they could be.
My parents would probably say no TikTok.
Wise, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! It's hard to recolor this paint that's over the. Oh, what am I doing? What the heck am I doing? Freaking visual effects artist. Hang on.
It's hard to change the color of the isolated paint.
Living hell is wrong with me. Okay, let's find like a blood splatter.
I think footage crate. You might want. I was gonna say footage crate or Action VFX has some too.
Action VFX does. I'm just they're
Blood Hit 7 or Triple looks promising.
I'm not looking at names. Where the hell is that?
Oh, to the left. There's the one looks like a little like kiwi bird. That one.
Oh, it drips though, doesn't it?
No, he wants a splatty one, not a drippy one.
I need like splatty splatter.
Splatter.
Blood squib side.
Like sideways.
And blood squib.
All right. In the meantime, I'm going to try to figure out if there's a way that I can turn this into a transparency-based thing.
Blood squib. Blood squib. Dun, 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 dun. Blood squib.
All right. If your height is 1080, what is the 16:9 ratio of your width?
Oh, I have a fun thing here. I made a shortcut a while back called aspect just for this because this happens to me all the time.
Okay.
So tell me, let's hang on.
I want the height to be 1080, but I want it to be a vertical video 16:9.
Oh, so it's currently 1920 by 1080? You want to be 9? Wait, what?
I want the height to be 1080.
Okay.
And I want to know what 9/16 of 1080 is.
So I'll tell you right now, 1080.
There's an easy way to do it. Just make a new composition that's 1920 by 1080.
607.5. So you're going to want to, you can't have half a pixel.
No. Fine. I could just make it 1920 by 1080. I just know that the quality of the
I would just put
input
in
video is not stellar.
No, just make a 1080 by 1920.
And then lock it and then change it.
Make aspect ratio.
Yeah, what he's saying.
Maintain, and then make the height the way you want it to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Doop.
Let's bring in those blood squibs. Blood squibs.
Woo.
What a show that would be. Blood squibs. Woo.
One of the favorite things in our household is someone made a YouTube edit of the DuckTales theme where they edit out the word duck. I mean, not duck, the word tails. So instead, every stanza concludes with, it's a duck. Woo. And somehow it gets better and better throughout said video. Okay. Now I'm going to try to figure out how to export this as a type of video file that TikTok Effect House can read. All right. What are you doing there, Seth?
Adding the splatter, and now I'm going to recolor it. I need to add one more little splatter, little blood squib. Whoa. Reposition.
All right. Does anyone know what the most efficient, meaning like smallest video with transparency you can output is in general? Because I feel like there used to be like, like a PNG QuickTime and stuff like that, but I feel like those aren't as available anymore.
Let's recolor this.
Ooh, a texture sequence. Maybe that's my key right there. What is today's episode called? It's called Paint Splatter Renders.
Okay, so now if in the essential properties, if we just change it to blue. Oh, it didn't do it to my. Oh, I see why. Hold on. Need to fix that. Whoa. Sorry.
Okay, so 576 by 1024 is the resolution possible for this thing. All right.
There we go. Now it'll change the paint to whatever color
Thank goodness.
And we have some blood splatter happening that matches the original version.
Now, how many frames long was our loop? Like 64 frames
our
or something?
Loop is, I'll tell you right now, project settings, switch over to frames and get my comp settings. 59 frames.
All right. I'm just doing some testing over here of some whatchamacallit things. Sequence styles to see if I can bring in this background.
Change the color to a gradient. I could do that. Whatever your name is. It would be nice to create some. You know what? I wonder actually.
Import from my computer a texture sequence. Nope. Import texture sequence, and we're going to grab this one. This is going to work. Gall darn it. Okay, foreground. Now, you just need to appear here on a 2D object, right? Add a new scene object.
Should we switch to your screen so we can watch you look for things?
No, this is... Okay, so this texture should be not the default texture, but... No.
I like that teal color you have there, Seth. It's good teal color.
Yeah, it's a fun teal color.
Oh, come.
You don't want to make it too saturated, so it still looks realistic.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Are
you planning to super comp this? I guess you don't really need to. I guess everything like the people already lit pretty correctly, since they were actually in the room at the time.
Why can't I use my image sequence in here? Advanced settings. I want to use a add component 2D animation sequence. Okay, now can I put this in here? Yay! Loop style. Autoplay.
Do you want us to look at your screen?
Sure, we could try now. We're almost there.
All right.
So in theory, I'm creating a Tik Tok filter that will apply this this framing device, and it did come in with the alpha channel. So you could go somewhere and put this over your favorite piece of art. But do I need to literally use the effect to make it play? Play mode, loop, once. Why aren't you playing? Image.
Loop infinitely?
That's a Harry Potter filter.
That's what I figured. Loop.
Loop infinity.
Why is it not playing? So all I did was I'm just doing a temp one that should be this. Should be that looping. But it's not. Foreground. Preview. Duration. It's not 1 frames. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what the hell?
Texture sequence. Okay, texture. Add. Import a texture sequence.
Let's do it.
Do I need to shift select all of them? That seems really silly.
God.
Inspector, 59 frames. There we go. Okay, now it's compressing them. Now I can go to the image here and we'll say texture sequence will be this once you're ready. It's loading and compressing. Compression type automatic. That's great because I don't want to know what TikTok has to do to make this compressible.
Need Magic is asking how to create men and women. Well,
wow.
That's a conversation you're going to have to ask
have with
mom
your
and dad.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, the basics are there's these birds and these bees.
There's these birds and these bees. Them birds and them bees.
Wait, did this work?
No.
Hey, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. It is gonna work.
Oh, nice. Wait, so you don't need anything that I've just done? Perfect.
No, I need exactly what you've just done because I want the activists and your paint splatter.
Okay,
in here.
good.
I didn't mention that I created this paint splatter ahead of time.
But, I forgot you were doing that. It looks good.
I mean,
so jump back to you,
Seth,
and then
I need what you're doing for rendering out later. I need a nice loop.
So Seth, let's go back to your screen. I want to talk about what I need from you because we're right at 4:00 and we've got to figure out how to export this this thing.
Yeah.
Because once I do, I can put a barcode on a screen so y'all can go to your handy dandy TikTok app, which I know that all 52 of you are frequently using. We huge overlap between the TikTok audience and the VFX and Chill DNs.
So let me save this project file, but I'm gonna put all its dependencies. Collect files, and we're gonna do it for selected comps. Reduce project, and we're going to collect it.
Wait, you're going to make me do this?
I'm going to give it to you. What do you want me to do?
No, that's perfect. That's fine. That's
fine.
Fine.
I see. You want to make it a Mogurt?
No. We don't need to bring Mogurt into this.
What did you want? Because you made it a central property. That's why I'm asking. What did you want?
Just export it with
Alpha Channel.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what color do we want?
Just send me this QuickTime.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought since you made me make it in a central properties thing, I didn't know.
Well, I thought originally I was thinking we'd make this loop like 4 times and different paint colors each time, but
which I still want for the Red Giant renders on social.
I can do that. That's fine. This yellow I think is the best.
Agreed.
All right, do the yellow then.
All right, here comes render. Let's do lossless with not lossless with alpha. ProRes
high quality with alpha.
If you're watching you're welcome to stick with us until we display the TikTok code on screen. I don't know how my co-hosts are doing in terms of their time.
I'm fine. What do we call this?
Perfect.
Painters.
All right. So watch the power of the internet. That's going to upload to the internet.
I'm gonna save
ProRes with alpha
and do output audio off because I think there's audio in this.
Oh yeah, it's always funny when you have a project like this. There's always like ridiculous.
Yeah, and you send it
like
to
looped
Michael.
Bits of like doubled up audio.
Yeah,
from
you send it to
roto.
Michael as a social post, and then you kill his ears. Okay.
Refresh, and I think that looks like that's the final file size. Great. Okay, so we'll put this in here. Actually, no, I will make a new composition that is 576 by 1024, which is a real service to the hard work you did. I'll scale it to, wait, what is it? Control Alt Shift H? No, G.
You just right click it and do, okay.
Yeah.
Or you have a Stream Deck button that does it for you.
I'm going to go with slightly bigger so it'll cut off the activist there. Let's check this out. Drink. Okay. So the beginning, I want to get rid of... Oh, wow, it loops at that point. Oh, yeah, of course, because it would. All right. So we've got our activists here. Seth, do you have any idea what this would look like if the activists were slid over so they fit more like right in front of the painting?
Well, let's find out, shall we?
Let's find out. And in the meantime, I can export this. Let's export this as a PNG sequence, and we'll call this splat1. Let's call it splat under splat1 directory. And we'll say render. And then as that exports with its nice transparency, we'll come in here and we'll say properties here. Let's add a new import texture sequence. And let's go to here. We'll go to splat. Yeah, let me know how. Like, if you just your quick take on that. Do you think that
I just have to move the paint over because the paint needs to hit quicker if they're right there. This is what it looks like when I move them over. It's not as convincing, especially this dude.
Let me just stick with this one then,
okay?
Because we got this already. So import this. Oops, no, I forgot. You can't just do that. It's not like After Effects. You've got to go import texture sequence, and then select all of these, and then say open. And now it's going to be compressing those in the background. I can get rid of this one that was just an individual channel. And then on my canvas, I've got barely anything except for this one 2D image, which is going right in front of whatever you're filming with your camera. Could even be a selfie cam, whatever. And then once this is compressed itself, it's so close, because it's got to fit into a less than 5 megabyte TikTok file, whatever the heck those are called. And so now we drag this to be the texture on here, right? And then scale it. Wait, no. Where's my alpha? Did I not turn it on in this?
You know what? It doesn't. Oh, crap.
Oh, no.
It's my fault. Hang on. Oh,
okay,
it's because your background that you made. Okay. Hang on. I can just.
Oh, my background was a solid image, not the cutout one.
So hold on a second. I'll fix it.
It's everybody's fault.
I'll fix it. Hang on. So we're going to.
Thank you.
Subtract.
Oh, we're so close. I can do this. I can feel it. It feels so good.
Okay, yeah. So here we go. Now we'll render ProRes Alpha. Turn off audio.
All right, ready to catch over here.
Painters 2.
Painters 2.
Someone in the chat suggests a chaotic episode suggestion would be to have you two try using our tools in Fusion or Resolve, which Resolve does have universe tools and magic bullet tools in them. So you could do it, but you two not having much experience in it could be quite chaotic.
Okay, come on. Oh, there we go.
But are we mostly swearing at Resolve, going, "Why aren't you doing what I want you to do?"
There's 2 going in. All right, yeah, this is what we want. Okay, here we go.
Oh wait, it's red. No.
What?
It's red.
The red one?
It shouldn't be red. Sorry.
We got it. We can go back. We can fix it.
We can fix it. No, we can't. What is that from? Oh, nope. It's from my own movie. I literally just quoted my own movie.
You're just quoting your own film at us. You know, the famous film.
The famous film. All right, here it comes. It's yours.
Okay. Painters 3. All right. And we'll just swap that out. Change that to yellow. Great. And now render this out. Let's render it over top of the other one. Let's see what happens. Boom. Okay. Activist paint splash. And then we'll jump into TikTok's very own free effect house. And let's import a texture sequence. Select all of the splat files. The splat files. That would be a cool
show. What size is your vertical version?
It gets resized by TikTok to 288 by 512 in the end.
Okay. I want to do something. We want to see more of those painters, don't we?
I mean, if we can, that would be neat.
Okay, I have.
But in the meantime, I am gonna share whatever version of this is on the TikTok.
All right, do it.
All right, let's see. Let's drag the splat texture onto here. And then, is there just a right-click scale to fit frame? Come on, TikTok. Image, size. Like, clearly, size to frame. I mean, it's at least got sticky edges, but, like, scale to frame is clearly what I want to do here. Okay, so we've got this. And let's preview in Tik Tok. Couldn't generate. It exceeds the maximum file size.
Oh.
How? What does it have that? I thought you compressed it to. Oh, it compressed it down to 7.75 megabytes. Well, darn. Okay. So why didn't you compress it better then, Tik Tok? Like that was on you.
Yeah, what the hell?
That was your responsibility at that point. So instead of 24 frames per second, we're going to dive down to 18 frames a second, like some kind of
animal
Charlie Chaplin film. Okay. Come on. And let's, I better put this in a new directory so I don't mess it up. Splat 18. Render. Now let's go to Effect House. And also, I would suggest adding a replace asset.
Hey, I made something for you, Hush.
I'm on the Discord for the Effect House people, but there's no way I'm ever gonna.
Hush, I made you something.
You did?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's in the thingy. All right. And let's open up Painters 4. All right. 3 megabytes seems too small. So I was waiting for my
I changed it to the resized.
catch up. Oh, wait. You did resize it?
I did.
So that was very kind of you. Okay, let's put that in here. Oh, it's even. Oh, nice.
No? Bad? No?
Perfect. Let's export this as a PNG sequence.
Oh, maybe I should hang the VFX and Chill logo above it.
Oh, you should.
Nah.
Okay, we'll be classy. We'll allow you to.
I can't think of how to style it.
Yeah. Okay, let's render this. And that did have a transparency, right? Seth, I think it didn't have a transparency.
What the living hell? No, it should have.
Did I misinterpret it?
Okay, hold on. ProRes Alpha. Painters 5.
We are good at our jobs, we promise.
No, I don't promise any of that.
We're not doing the logo in Comic Sans. Come on.
How dare you? Who
That's
do you
just
think we
my
are?
Cinema 4D interface.
Jesus.
Refresh,
right, it should be coming to you.
And there. Okay. Boom. Okay, that's there. Let's export this. Should I change the frame rate? Probably should. Yeah, I'll change the frame rate to 18 because that'll at least be semi-plausible. And we'll uncheck that. We'll make it a PNG sequence. Painters 5 and save, render, bloop. Okay, scroll down. We'll go into here. Let's delete both of these so it's not getting confused. Import a texture sequence, and we'll go into Painters 5. Select all of these things, and it's going to start compressing them. Let's see what its final size says. It just needs to be less than 5 megabytes. And I have no way to know what its compression settings are. Come on. 7.18. No. Oh, and is there a black frame at the end there too? That's my bad. Okay, come on. Oh, yeah. And this is making me so mad. Why does it not just work better for me?
Yeah.
Work better. Painters, I'm going to call this 6, even though that's
Jason Murphy in the chat says that they can't wait for the film. Is it done yet? And then they did a winky smiley face with the tongue out.
That's inappropriate,
Like this.
sir. We leave our tongues in our mouths on this show.
Import texture sequence. Oh, come on. Please be short enough this time. You know you want to be short enough. And open. Come on. Compressing. It's only 28 frames. You've got to be able to get 28 frames worth into here. Can do it. We can do it. Be under 5. 4.68.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay. Scene object. Painter. Drag that to this. Make this bigger. And now, as soon as we're done here, I should be able to say preview in TikTok. And there we go. If you want to, let's see. How can I'll make that bigger. Let's see. New.
Can it not reposition the face? Like, does it into the painting?
It could, but I don't know how exactly yet. All right. So what you've got to do is you've got to go to TikTok. You've got to go to add friends, and then there's a scan option.
So we have to be friends.
So you've got to. You don't even have to be friends. You just have to go to. Where is it? If you click on your profile, and then you click on in the upper left-hand corner, it would make more sense if I were showing this on screen somehow. But you go to your profile, do the plus Find Friends button at the top, and then in the top right corner, there's a little scan thing. So I can now scan this code, and now, oh yes, it works. Check it out. It's you getting splattered by paint in the thing. Let me flip the camera around to the back camera, and now it works.
So a TikTok.
Excellent.
Add friend.
You need to put hashtags and keywords and whatever on this thing so people can find it. I think some people on TikTok might like this filter.
I think they would as well. Oh man.
Make it easily findable.
I accidentally just scrolled down to my Coke can right here.
We did it.
And my Coke can getting splattered looks great. All right, so Action Movie Dad will post this with hashtags and stuff like that on the TikTok.
Yeah, we should have put our logo on it. What's wrong with this?
So much, but where do we begin? We did it. Okay, what file? Properties. Oh no, project info. This is one of those things that gets me. You've got to go edit the project info. It's not at the time that you try publishing it. You've got to go to the project info now, and we'll call this effect. What should we call this effect, everybody? Splat.
Splactivism. Nope.
Art splat. Museum splat.
VFX and splat.
VFX and spill.
VFX and spill. That's our therapy session. That's where you and I like.
The chat wants you to do Splank C, but no.
No, the chat wants none of that.
Okay. 8 splat. Splat that. That's what I'm going to call it. And let's save. And what happens? Do I just submit? Do I get to add any TikTok-y things?
I don't think so.
Okay. Wait, did I just do it or did I not? What the heck? Submit effect. Start. Uploading effect. Upload succeed. Okay, now I can select some interesting stuff for it. Okay, so what do we got? The category. Is it funny? Yeah.
Is there a current events category?
Funny. Interactive. It's not really interactive.
No.
Fine, it's funny. Tags.
Vandalism.
5. Vandalism. Press enter.
What's the stop oil?
Paint. Splat. Museum. I don't know. I need my SEO crew out here. I can't spell museum apparently. Activist. Activism. I don't know. Additional comments. Anything else you'd like us to know about your effect? Watch VFX and Chill with Seth. Is it Hashi and Seth?
Yeah.
Is it an ampersand or is it another written out and? I don't remember.
No. Yes, it's an ampersand for Hashi and Seth, but not for and Chill.
Every Friday at 10 a.m. on Red Giant YouTube. See, look how amazing I'm being. Oh, do we upload a demo video? I don't have a demo video of me using it.
You should make one real quick and upload it.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry. I made one. You know what?
Oh, you made one?
Do we want to say
We should say goodbye. People have their code.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's say goodbye to everybody. We'll see you next week. Go use that friggin' TikTok thing now.
Yes, go find it. Splat that.
Bye.
Splat that.
We did it.